Where do we go now? Another refugee camp? Another colony?
I predict with an 8.23 margin of error.
Oh. Administrant Agarwal. Here to finally hash this out, are you? Thought this day would never come.
Yes, well, our esteemed outsider here has agreed to thoroughly appraise our situation, in the hope that we may finally close the book on the exclusion zone once and for all.
They say you asked around. Listen to folks. That's a good start, at least.
The seer predicted imminent danger to the exclusion zone. In the interest of safety, the displaced must leave.
Well, the displaced are the ones taking that risk, on the grounds that predictions can be false.
The displaced are under the Order's care, and the Order should decide what is best for them. Hence why we need the help of an outsider. Mediator, I leave the fate of the exclusion zone in your capable hands. Speak on, then.
Did he also happen to mention they were needlessly oblique and vague?
Quite right. Rollo's co-occupant might have also supported our warnings, had he heeded them.
I don't know. You ask me, when it comes to these Order predictions, there's a lot of room between a probable and definite outcome. You mean that missionary type who's always talking at everybody instead of to them?
Mathematics is the hidden language of the universe which unites us all. The closer we come to understanding it, the closer we come to true understanding.
I haven't heard that much sugarcoating outside of an anti-suppository ad. But fine. Whatever you say. You actually got the Provisioner to give you the time of day. Huh.
Ah, yes. I sometimes forget Provisioner Plotnik is also assigned to minding the displaced's needs. Her role is largely proactive, while mine is reactive.
If the Provisioner's booked up, I say redeploy another egghead at the matter.
It's less of an issue of personnel as it is of safety. Contrary to your assumptions, we do care about your collective and individual well-being.
I'm all ears, Mediator.
The what now?
When grievances between the displaced approach fisticuffs, we hire sub-rosa hooligans to duke things out for us.
That is unquantifiably absurd. And I don't see how moving into the exclusion zone will help. The fault here is my own. I see now that the displaced require guidance steeped in logic and reason. I understand he is rather short-handed.
Yeah. Someone should get right on that, huh? Anyhow, what was the good doctor's diagnosis? At Auntie's Choice, we'd view this from a lens of how sickness undercuts productivity.
That is indeed unfortunate, but the dangers predicted for the exclusion zone may outweigh these concerns. Collapsed. But we built Matriarch's Mercy to optimize comfort and safety.
I'm guessing you're saying this wasn't an official structure, more of a hastily assembled, precariously built shanty. People are struggling to make do with what they have. If we had the exclusion zone, this wouldn't be a problem.
I'm aghast these structures weren't built following established order construction guidelines. By my calculations, you've explored this topic from every conceivable angle. Admirable work, Mediator. I suspect that your sympathies lie with the displaced. Unfortunate if true, but I leave the decision in your capable hands. Well, if this is the fate that was augured, then I will not complain, though it goes against my very nature. Please, be safe. That's all I ask.
Not to worry, Administrant. The exclusion zone is our problem now. Here. You stay out of trouble. We'll try and do the same.
Where do we go now? Another refugee camp? Another colony?
I predict with it. Wait. Don't tell me you're one of those. Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to us?
Fish. Water defecting. There's no putting this rat back in. dictate. Violence and hostility within Matriarch's mercy.
Ah, Commander. Caught me cogitating. I was just thinking about making some tweaks to Val. Hoping it'll help. Oh, just the usual. Flickering occipiters, gimbal misalignment, effector failures, voice box trembles, recurring errors in logic assembly. Val's old. In automatic years, so she requires a lot of routine maintenance to prevent her hardware and systems from deteriorating further. Yep, gotta fill the hours with something, right? Most times I find working on Val relaxing, actually. Meditative. It's nice being able to identify a problem and just fix it. Not to worry. I'll make sure she's firing on all cylinders. Or, well, most.
Trouble it.
Brass raring to go.
Killing these traitors was invigorating, but their leader still needs to be dealt with. That I'm really going to enjoy. No time to talk, Commander. Not when we're so close to spilling Ziegler's guts. I mean, so close to getting him to spill his guts. Metaphorically. Before I do it literally.
Another rift. Rather not get up close and personal like it if it's all the same to you.
Why are you still alive? There's been some ghastly mistake. We must speak on the latest revelation before you compound it by killing me. You're obviously unaware that you've been officially marked for death. Otherwise, you'd have killed yourself and saved us all the trouble. It's unfortunate I was unable to inform you of this before you killed so many loyal members of the Dawn. But so be it. Glad we were able to clarify all of that. Well?
This idiot obviously thinks I will just kill myself on his say-so. Ziegler, what's got into your brain pan? You used to be a dedicated member of the Dawn. How could you think there was a legitimate kill order on me?
You were revealed as a betrayer through the sanctified channel. How can you disobey a revelation from on high, when you yourself exhorted us constantly to never do such?
You make a compelling point. But then again, so does my knife. Let me introduce you to it. Why the fuck not? You're such the jester, Commander. You actually had me going there for a minute. Now, where were we? Oh, that's right. It's time to stick Ziegler here like a cysty pig on a spit.
Hostile ahead. What's the break?
I can't believe what Hierarch Ziegler was saying. How could there be an official kill order out on me? The poor fools probably thought they were just fulfilling their duty. If only it were that simple. It should be impossible for someone to infiltrate our communication systems, especially when it comes to a high-level communique. Unless they somehow have our codes. This could only mean that one of our members has been compromised. Of course not. What a ridiculous question. Never. And I'd thank you not to suggest such. Damn straight they should have. I have no idea. If I go anywhere near one of our encampments, I'll be forced to kill members who believe they're following orders. Of course, any member of the Dawn who turns on me without thinking is asking for death, but this could still make solving this even more difficult. Don't worry. I'll stay on as part of your crew until I get this all figured. It's given me an impressive amount of opportunities for killing, and all the killing helps me think. I must admit to being highly vexed by this kill order situation. Such as? Nothing of much worth to tell there. I'd rather hear your story. Why would you accuse me of such? I've nothing to hide. Whatever I do now is sanctified, and the specifics of my past are of no merit. The glorious dawn gave me a new life, and wiped away the old. As I told you, the Dawn know and seek to spread the truth of the rifts. But it is even more than that to me. It is my life. My world used to be devoid of color. Everything was gray. Now everything is vibrant, like the arterial spray of a freshly opened vein. And I'm still not interested in discussing it.
Victor wasn't exactly the partner in crime I envisioned VOORHEES to have. Someone with a little more grit. That man back there? Reckon a tough crossword puzzle would have eventually sent him over the edge, even if we hadn't come along. I don't envy anyone in the Order's janitorial sciences. They're gonna have a hell of a time scraping him off the walls. And the floors. And the ceiling. You ever wonder what might have happened if VOORHEES had let us in on her initial plan? Surely we wouldn't have been taken in by her rhetoric like Victor. Right? Hotshot Earth Directorate agent swoops in to liberate your colony, sets you on a new exciting path, and you're telling me you wouldn't have been a bit smitten? Good law. I was a kid with a crush, like you said. It wasn't serious. If anything, I wanted to be DeVries. After Triangulum, all I wanted was to do for other colonies what Augustine had done for mine. Still do, if I'm honest. Maybe not. Past 10 years have more or less proven that out. Thanks for letting me wax for a bit. We can get back to what we were doing now. Unless there was something else you needed. Always up for a little backfence talk, though I'm guessing you don't mean Val. I think she'd have a hell of a time passing the Directorate psychological screening. Don't much care for all her talk about disembowelment neither. Truth be told, I don't know her all that well. Reckon she's unmoored and grabbing for anything that feels like purpose. Same as the rest of us. At least that's what I would say if I was feeling charitable. Most days, I send her out the airlock if it came to a vote. Sure thing. I trust you've got particulars in mind?
The cultist known as Azza has been admitted to the ship roster. Among her registered weapons is what she refers to as her disemboweling knife. This unit reminds the commander that anticoagulants are your first line of defense when injury occurs.
We did good by all the folk in Golden Ridge. If we hadn't eased the pressure between the Order and the troops at Outpost Opportunity, the kettle would have blown its top eventually. Instead, the ceasefire can remain in place, and folk can sleep soundly. Thank you. I feel sick that Victor chose to end his life the way he did. And he was prepared to do it from the start. Wow. DeVries doesn't deserve that kind of loyalty from anyone.
What do you need, Commander? Who exactly? Niles? He's fun to torment. I mean, he's equal parts enthusiastic and naive, even with all he's gone through. I find her amusing. In a best not to torment her or she'll kill us all kind of way, which I completely respect. Not only does she possess more heart than your standard corporatist flunky, she's a great deal smarter as well. Don't tell her I said so. Such as?
Sure hope Val isn't missing something fierce back on the ship. Anyway, need something, Commander?
Warning, this artificial unit is in existential peril. Searching for navigation data back to Matriarch's Mercy. No result. Error. Navigation systems offline. This unit is not programmed to respond to order prognostication. It is not a medical specialist. It is a specialized tool of medicine. Farewell, potential qualified engineer.
Being this close to DeVries, feels like we're finally on track to set the universe aright. Anyway, need something, Commander? Sure, always happy to tool around for a bit. What did you have in mind?
Rerouting to Matriarch's Mercy. Error. Route unavailable. Cannot reroute. Searching for navigation data back to Matriarch's Mercy. No result. Error. Navigation systems offline. Accurate statement detected. This unit is both helpless and aimless. Assistance requested. Accurate statement detected. This unit is both helpless and aimless. Assistance requested. Farewell, potential qualified engineer.
Can't get that Andy's Choice jingle out of my head. Hey, if I start humming it, you do what you gotta. Anyway, need something, Commander? Oh yeah? What's needling you? Like most colonies, good people being ground down from above. A lot of fancy talk from suits about streamlining and quarterly earnings while them on the line barely scrape by. Triangulum's known for churning out freighters, and shipbuilding ain't exactly known for being clean, safe work neither. Especially when corners get cut. Can't remember a time I didn't end the day all banged up, filthy, and smelling like I just crawled out of an exhaust port. It was hard work, sure. But there was something special about seeing one of them long haulers fire up her engines for the first time and knowing you had a hand in her construction. Funny thing was, I wasn't even an engineer back then. But I wanted to learn, so I paid attention. Too good of attention, as it turned out. I was working late one evening and overheard something I shouldn't have. Some bigwigs exchanging inside information that would have cost the corporation a pretty bit. A day later, I was being accused of corporate espionage. Didn't want to bring any heat down on anyone else, so I went on the run before the first jackboot showed up at my door. Not as worried as I was about what would happen if I was caught. Probably they would have spaced me and called it a day. I was on the run for... I don't even know how long. The days sort of bled into one another. I started losing hope of things ever changing for the better. Then, The Earth Directorate showed up. They liberated Triangulum, pulling me and the rest of the colony out from under the corporate boot. Joining up after that just made sense. She was one of the forward agents who went ahead to assess just how bad Triangulum had gotten. We met while I was in hiding, and I helped her learn the lay of the land, as it were. She was no nonsense. I thought her one of the smartest people I'd ever met. And while she could also be cutting, I felt like I only caught her edge when I deserved it. I liked her. And for some reason, she seemed to take a shine to me. But she wasn't around long. By the time I officially joined up, she'd already moved on to the next mission. Sure was. Kept hoping I might run into her during training. But now I know she was busy turning her coat here in Arcadia. My folks shuffled off the motor coil when I was little. Assembly line accident. Got passed between some distant relations for a few years. They tried their best. Weren't cruel or nothing, but life on Triangulum was tough. And they had their own families to worry about, you know? I didn't like feeling like I was adding to their burden, so I struck out on my own just as soon as I could. And well, you know how that turned out. Yeah. Thoughts crossed my mind over the years, especially when it was just me and Val. I wish I spent more time with her when I had the chance. No point missing something you're never getting back, though. That's either hope or foolishness, Commander, and I can't tell which. Even if we survive the rift, 10 years is a long time to be gone. No word. They probably figure I'm dead. But void it all. Now you got me thinking about it. How about this? We ever make it out of this system, I'll take you back to Triangulum, make the introductions myself. Deal? Oh yeah. They're gonna get a real charge out of you.
Way I see it, you lay claim to an entire world, you best be ready to defend that claim. Got something that needs doing, Commander?
Greetings once more, potential qualified engineer. Searching for navigation data back to Matriarch's Mercy. No result. Error. Navigation systems offline. Accurate statement detected. This unit is both helpless and aimless. Assistance requested. Farewell, potential qualified engineer.